Hello everyone, my name is Zhao Ying. I'm from University of Aizu. My advisor is Professor Pei Yan. The title of my presentation is Fitness Landscape Approximation with Dimension Reduction using Multi-dimensional Scaling. This achievement was published in SMC 2023. In evolutionary optimization problems, fitness landscape is evaluations of a fitness function for all candidate solutions. There are 4 different fitness landscapes for various problems shown here. It can be observed from the graphs that they exhibit distinct characteristics, with some appearing relatively simple while others are more complex in nature. Traditional evolutionary algorithms are influenced by problem size and the complexity of the fitness landscape, leading to a slow convergence speed. The fitness landscape approximation technique can accelerate the convergence speed of evolutionary algorithms, so we proposed an effective fitness landscape approximation method. I will introduce it in detail later. I would like to introduce an important method by a simple case in this research first. It's called multi-dimensional scaling. It's a dimension reduction method which can transform data from a high-dimensional space into a low-dimensional space through the distance between points. For example, the left picture is the distance of 10 American cities matrix. We can regard each row as a 10 dimensions point. We can use MDS to transform a 10 dimensions point into 2 dimensions point. So we can plot the points in a 2-dimensional coordinate system like this. This is the research design. The first step is generating random a set of high-dimensional individuals as original population. The second step is to use MDS to dimension reduction. We can get the new population. The third step is using a regression model to approximate the fitness landscape and find the optimal individual. Then generate some new individuals around the optimum individual. Next is to use new individuals to replace some old individual and then continue involve. I should point out here that regression is not performed only once, but once every some iterations. Next, I will introduce some important steps among them. This step is for MDS. The left matrix is the original population. It includes n individuals and the dimension of every individual is m. Every column is an individual. We can use MDS to transform them into 2 dimensions individuals. So the right matrix is the new population and the last row is the fitness corresponding to each individual. And now we get the lower dimensional population, and we can use a regression model to approximate the fitness landscape. The computational cost required for regression in low dimensional space is much lower than in high dimensional space. Then we need to search for the optimal point on the obtained approximated fitness landscape. Since we are searching in a low-dimensional space, the search efficiency is relatively high, and we can use some classic search methods such as gradient descent, differential evolution algorithms, and so on. If we transform the 3D image into 2D image, we can get an image like this. If the red point is the optimum point, but we don't know its position in the original space because it's a new low dimension point, but we can find the nearest known point in the low dimension space. Because every point in the low dimensional population is corresponding to a high dimension population, so we can find a corresponding point to the nearest point. We think there might be some good points around this point, so we generate a few new individuals near the optimal individual, and then replace the same number of other individuals. This is just a schematic diagram because we can plot high dimension image. Next is experiment. There are three algorithms in our experiment. The first one is DE. It's no modification of the traditional differential evolution algorithm. The second method is the method we proposed. It is called MDS IEEE. The last is DE plus. It's similar with the proposed algorithm, which doesn't use MDS and regression methods, and search the optimal individual directly in the original population, and generates several individuals by same way. This is a test function. We use CEC 2017 test functions. There are 30 test functions. Every function represents a different problem. This table shows some key parameters. Population size is 10. The dimension of every individual is 10. The operation stops until fitness is calculated 1,000 times. Every test function runs 50 times. We use average fitness as evaluation criterion. Each test function runs 50 times and records the optimal fitness of each time, and then calculates the average fitness. The smaller the better. The better results are highlighted in bold. In this table, we can see that the proposed algorithm is best one in most test functions. In addition, we conduct the Wilcoxon signed rank test. The figure shows the p-value between different algorithms in the three algorithms. In some test functions, the p-value in our algorithms is less than 0.05. We also conducted some other experiments and found issues as follows. The first is the accuracy of the regression model has a significant impact on the performance of algorithm. As the population changes, the accuracy of the regression model also varies, resulting in differences in performance. Secondly, there are 30 test functions. The landscapes they represent also differ greatly, making it a huge challenge to make a regression model perfectly adapted to all test functions. Thirdly, it's important to consider the trade-off between the complexity and the effectiveness of the regression model when applying the algorithm to real-world problems. Finally, through MDS, we just can establish a fixed mapping relationship, and we can't conduct some changes based on it. For example, we can't add new individuals to the original population and establish new mapping relationships while ensuring that the original mapping relationship remains unchanged. The last part is the future work. We can explore a more efficient method for generating regression models and more appropriate ways to balance the complexity and effectiveness of the regression model. The second is we aim to conduct the deeper research on the MDS method and explore its scalability, making it possible to add new mapping relationships on the basis of existing ones. The last is we will compare the proposed method with more other methods. Thank you very much.